Lesson number 1, rhythm notes. In the Western traditional music, we have 8 rhythm notes: whole note, half a note, quarter note, eighth note, 16th note, 32nd note, 6/4 note, 128th note. So the whole note and the rest of the note, it's on the 4th line, below the 4th line on the music staff. It does not matter what clef. So the whole rest is below the 4th line. Let me put it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, below the 4th line on the music staff. Music staff is a group of 5 lines and 40 spaces. 5 lines and 40 spaces with the clef that we name those notes. Without the clef, just rhythm notes. With the clef, this is C5. Anyhow, we're going just to talk about the rhythm notes today. So the whole note or semibreve, whole rest or pausa da semibreve. Half a note or mínima, quarter note or semínima, eighth note or colcheia, 16th note or semicolcheia, 32nd notes or fusa, 64th note, semifusa, and 128th note, quartifusa. One whole note is equal to 2 half notes. One whole note is equal to 4 quarter notes. One whole note is equal to 8 eighth notes. One whole note is equal to 16 16th notes. One half a note is equal to 2 quarter note. One half a note is equal to 4 eighth note. One quarter note is equal to 2 eighth note. One quarter note is equal to 4 16th note. One quarter note is equal to 8 64 note. And one quarter note is equal to 16 128th note. The duration of the note is the same of duration of the rest, but in rest. So our referential here is going to be the quarter note. Right now, we do not say that one whole note is equal to 4 tempos. No, because it will depend of the andamento or tempo, also depend of the time signature. In this case here, we're going to use as referential quarter note. So we're going to do it slow, like ta 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 ta. I do not have tongue to perform the 32nd note, need the 6/4, and I never had 128. You need to have a lot of practice. Double reading instrument. Anyhow, and you have the combinations of all those rhythm notes. The rhythm notes, we can add dots. Dots to augment the value of the note and dots to diminish the value of the sound of the note. So the simple dot is to diminish is called staccato. That is the dotted. So what's the function of those dotted? Here's the execution. This is called abbreviation, and here is the execution. Half a note, the dot is the half of the note. Half of the half a note is the quarter note. So it's a half a note plus quarter note. Instead for so ta, 1, 2, 3 quarter notes. Because one half a note is equal to 2 quarter note. Plus a dot become 3. Let's listen. Now, a dotted quarter note. Dotted quarter note is a quarter note plus eighth note, because the half of the chord note is the eighth note. Let's listen. Now the dotted eighth note. The dot is half of the note, so half of the eighth note is the 16th note. So it's eighth note plus 16th. You need to have that tie. You need to be the tie, and the notes must be in the same pitch note, same clef. Cannot be here on the bass clef, even though it's in the same pitch, but it should be in the same clef. Let's listen. Staccato. The execution of staccato is the simple staccato is half of sound plus half of silence. Half of sound, half of the whole note is the half a note plus its silence. So let's listen. Now the staccato of the half a note. The staccato execution is half sound plus half silence. So half sound, half silence. Let's listen. The staccato of the chord note is eighth note plus eighth rest. The staccato of the eighth note is 16th note plus 16th rest. I'm going to add, this is from the La Primavera, the spring, from Le Quattro Stagioni by Vivaldi, Antonio Lucio Vivaldi, for you to see that he starts, the time signature is 4/4. Let's talk about time signature before you go further. Time signature has to do, the numerator is quantity, denominator is the quality. Who has the number 4 is the chord note, because these numbers has to do with the division and subdivision of the notes in relation with the whole note. So whole note is 1, half a note is 2, chord note is 4, eighth note is 8, 16th note is 16, 32nd note is 32, 64th note is 64, 128th note is 128. So on the measure 4/4, you can add any combination that will lead towards the 4/4. Could be this. So the somatório must be to complete the 4 chord notes in each measure. Does not matter how you add, it's up to you. Here I just gave one simple example. Now let's listen. Okay, so this is just one example, okay? When the measure on the beginning of the music starts on the downbeat, this is called static. When the measure starts incomplete, like here on the La Primavera, on the spring, that is anacruze. And when the music starts with a rest, any kind of rest, does not matter what. If here was the beginning of the measure, this is going to be acéfalo, which means without head. Let's make one measure here, just for the sake of learning. Imagine this is the measure 1, it's not 57, okay? So when it starts with the rest, they call acéfalo, means without head. A is a negative, no céfalo, it's head. No head, which means no sound, it starts with the rest. They call, the name of this measure is acéfalo. In the case of the spring of the four seasons, sorry, mix and match, 4 seasons of Vivaldi, start with Anacruz ta ta, ta 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 pa pa pa, ta 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 ta. Let's listen. can't you, this part? Let me do it. So how do we know how to perform those rhythm notes? What we need to do? Let me just stop the share here and add the whiteboard. So I'm not Picasso even close. I flank on the art class. Anyhow, whole note is equal to 2 half a note. Each half a note is equal to 2 quarter note. And 2 half a note is equal to 1 whole note. 2/8 note is equal to 1 quarter note. Two quarter notes is equal to 1 half a note. And 2 half a note is equal to 1 whole note. So everything ends up on the whole note, on the summatory. 2/16 note is equal to 1/8 note. You know how to draw better than me, please do, because my drawing is beyond horrible, ugly. Anyhow. Oh, sorry. So 2/16 is equal to 1/8 note. Two-eighth note is equal of 1 quarter note. Two quarter note is equal of 1 half a note. And 2 half a note is equal of 1 whole note. Okay? As further you go from the whole note, the tempo is going to be faster. When I say 1 whole note is equal to 2 half a note, means that the half a note is going to be the double of speed than the whole note. When I say that 1 whole note is equal to 4 quarter notes, means that the quarter note is going to be 4 times faster than the whole note. 1 half a note is equal of 2 quarter note, means that the quarter note is going to be twice as faster than the half a note, and so on. Okay, so I'm having some trouble here. Let me stop to share and share again. Uh-oh. Well, I do not know how to erase. Let's see if I can clean. Yeah. We can write the 8th note with that line, that's this line here. This line means the amount of the crochet. So we have head, stem, and the crochet. So when you have one crochet, you just connect with one line. If you have two crochets, you connect with the two. It's going to be the 16th note. This is 8th note, 16th, 8th note, 16th note. I'm glad that there are software for music, because my handwriting killed the music. Unfortunately, I don't have the dexterity for the... Okay, so two lines means the 16th note, because 16th note have two crochets. I cannot connect the two half a note, and the two quarter note, because if I put like that, become 8th note. Okay. So now how would be? And now let's make a... I'm going to connect one 8th note with the 2/16th, and 2/16th with the 1/8th note. Uh-oh. It's a mess, né? So here is ta 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 ta. Again, ta 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 ta. Okay, let me see if I can make it. Let me clear. Let's see if we can clear all drawings. Okay, good. Now maybe I can do it right now. The time signature here, I'm going to add as 4/4. That vertical line is the bar, called bar line, that divided one measure to the other. And our reference cell here is going to be the chord note, okay? Imagine that you have a chord note here, just for the pulse. So how would we perform this rhythm? In a slow tempo, this is the chord note. Ta, 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 ta. We're going to work more with the Paul Hindemith, but today just to show the rhythm notes in the beginning. Now let's go direct to the score of Vivaldi. Let me get here also the sonnets. So the four seasons of the La Stagione, quattro stagioni, La Primavera or the spring. See here on the strings, instead to have the complete 1, 2, 3, 4 chord notes, has just 1/8 note, so they call the anacrusi or anacrústico. Anacrusi. So the rhythm is ta 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 ta. Besides the rhythm, you see those letters here? Those are dynamic letters. Forte, piano. So we have the dotted note. This dot means that it's going to be half of the value of the note. Half of the chord note is eighth note. So this is one chord note tied with the eighth note. And this is the abbreviation, the written abbreviation. Eighth rest. Eighth rest on the second violin. So this is the solo violin, and for the orchestra you have the first and the second violin, viola, cello, and bass. And the harpsichord here, that was not written but was added after. Regarding the rhythm, the cells that you have, those are the ornaments, the trill. Canto degli Uccelli. So that is the poem. Let's read the poem now. Giunto è la primavera e festosetti. So here, that the springtime is upon us. The birds celebrate her return with the festive song, and murmuring streams are softly caressed by the breezes. Thunderstorms, those heralds of spring, roar, casting their dark mantle over heaven. Then they die away to silence, and the birds take up their charming songs once more. That's the first movement. So The primavera has one fast, slow, fast movement. So fast, slow, fast. So allegro, largo is the slow, allegro, the last allegro is fast. Now let's find it. I did one research here about the birds. Let's see if I add on my. Let me share with you. So the bird, this is the bird of the spring. The summer they call the turtle dove. That is the, I forgot the name now. What the name of that dove that we have here? Oh my God, sorry. I forgot the name. Oh God. Anyhow, pigeon. Pigeon is the turtle dove called pigeon. But this here is the bird of the spring. When you hear that. Now one question. Did you hear a dog on the spring? Find for me what movement, if it's the first, the second, or the third. Let's see who can answer that. Find a dog on the spring of the four seasons. You want me to put again? Let's see if it's here. Okay. Where is the dog? Who can tell me? It's played by the viola part. Here, that is the viola playing the dog part. The bark of the dog. Let's see. Tan tan. Viola here. So this is the sonnets and the largo. On the flower-strewn meadow with the leafy branches rustling overhead, the goat-herd sleeps, his faithful dog beside him. Tan tan, tan tan, the viola part. Allegro, the second allegro is led by the festive sound of rustic bagpipes, nymphs and shepherds lightly dance beneath the brilliant canopy of spring. So we have those sonnets per movement. So that they call the programmatic music with the Vivaldi. So the theme of the rhythm notes that you have here is the group of the pickup or the anacruise of the eighth note, two eighth notes, one eighth note with the 2/16, a dotted quarter note and 2/16. On the measure number 3, have at the end have 4 eighth notes on the solo part, and here's the same as the first measure and the second and the third measure, and so on. So the variation you're going to see more is on the solo part when they have the trill on the piano here. That is this sol here, ta 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 ta, pa 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 pam, tarara, tarara. So those are the piano. They play together with the solo, etc. So for today, that's all. Thank you.